everybody. Hey, everybody. My name is Richard, and welcome to Not Technically Perfect. Wait, there you go. Not Technically Perfect. I'm your host, Richard Struther. I am a technology coach, and I talk about technology, lifestyle, balance, um, all of that. And today, I actually had a fantastic comment yesterday, and you know what? It's a fantastic subject, and let's dive into it because it is, you know what? It's something that will come up, and I want you guys to know. So, when you're too wired. No, I'm not talking about too much coffee. I'm talking about too many wires, literally. Um, for those of you who know, like, let's be honest, there are, you have that computer desk, right? That desk with what looks like, the party streamer effect gone wrong, going down the back, or behind the TV, and then some people mount it on the wall, and then you just got the spaghetti, the mess of spaghetti. Exactly. So let's help with this. Woo! All right. In all seriousness, this is something that a lot of people experience, and I love. And Nick, thank you for jumping in on that and absolutely coming on to that. You know what I'm actually going to do, just for fun? I'm actually going. Here we go. I'm gonna put the chat overlay so you guys can actually see what the comments are. Right. So here we go. There are a few options that you can get to manage cables, and depends. What I'm going to suggest depends on the length of the cables that you're doing. There are, you know what? Let me start with one of the simplest solutions. If you take some um, some really decent fabric, just nothing overly crazy or ornate or anything, just a long piece of fabric. And what's neat is that you can put Velcro along. If you can hem it, great, right? But you put Velcro on the inside, and you put Velcro one on the outside, one on the inside, and that way you can form a tube. Why do I recommend the Velcro? Because let's be honest, there are a lot of people who go, well, just use zip ties. Please, for the love of God, don't use zip ties. And don't use the little twisty, the garbage bag ties. And the reason I suggest neither of those is because they are rigid solutions. The glorious clutter. I love that. Yes, the reason I don't recommend the twist ties is because you can actually over twist them, and over time it can damage your cables, especially if one cable keeps getting tugged and it tugs the rest of them with it. You also want to be really careful to leave at least, and I'm not kidding, this is a great rule, if you can twist the cable around 2 fingers, you want to leave 2 fingers slack, right? You want at least a little bit so that if something moves, you're not pulling the whole tube of cables. But this fabric with the Velcro, you can buy it ready-made, but if you want to make something that's more, kind of along your line, it's a fabulous solution. You can actually put that around your cables, bunch them together, right? And then put this Velcro around it. You can buy little Velcro strips. I find them expensive, but they're, just a standard Velcro strip, and you can put them around, and they're fantastic. You just get some good Velcro, and off you go. You can Velcro your cables together. Again, I don't recommend using hard solutions like zip ties or the garbage bag ties. I find those, again, they bunching them is not necessarily a great idea. The other thing you can try, these are available. You can find them online. Go ahead and take a look at Amazon. Some desks are actually being built with this now. Down the back of the desk will have either a hole or a groove in the desk for all the cables to bunch into and go down. And Tamara, thank you. You bought a giant roll from Fabricville or Walmart. You don't even need that big a roll. You need about maybe 4 feet, because most visible cable is not more than 4 feet, and then you can cut it down to what you want. In fact, you can even make 2 or 3 with a big strip. So I love the suggestion. Yes, Walmart or Fabricville is a great place to get this. You can make it fit your style. There is also, you can go to Staples, Bureau Grow, well, here it's Bureau Grow, Staples, Office Depot, Office Max, whatever, one of those stores, Best Buy, any of those. They will have these cable management things where sometimes it's plastic. You know the 3-ring binders that have all the little teeth that kind of go through the paper? They have some that go around the cables. They literally, they're just plastic, and you can run the cable into them. I also went to Canadian Tire at one point and bought this plastic channel that you stick on the wall. Why? Because I had an extension cord that I needed to go across the room. I don't want extension cord running along the floor, so I ran it along the wall. If you look at the wall, you'll never notice. Why? It's a white plastic strip, and it opens up on one side, and then you put your cable or cables, because it's about, I guess about 2.5, 3 inches wide by about 3/4 of an inch thick, and you just stick it to your wall and you run your cables inside of it, and then you close it up and it stays closed unless you start manipulating it open. Yeah, exactly. So, there are people who've used these, and they're fantastic for getting these longer cables where you have to run them all over the place. Um, in fact, actually, if you were ever at my apartment, you'll see them in two places. I actually had to run a network cable across the apartment. So I ran it along the ceiling on one of these plastic channels. You'll never notice it unless you look for it, because it's nicely hidden in this beautiful plastic channel. It looks like it's part of the architectural feature. So it's great. I absolutely love these things. They're great. They look fantastic, and you actually have these. They come with joints, so you can do like L-shaped joints in case you need to go kind of like along a wall and turn, sudden 90-degree turn. You can totally do that. It's super, super cool. So those are fantastic. Bundling your cables is good. Just make sure that you don't bundle them so tight that they can't move independently of each other. Hence why I recommend Velcro or materials. I don't necessarily recommend elastics. You can use elastics if they offer that little bit of looseness so that the cables can still move around. And then what you can do is you can channel them together and run them as one column, and it looks beautiful. Sorry, I was mentioning also the furniture. These desks will have a notch in them, and they'll have like a 3/4, like a drawer that goes like a quarter of the way up on one side, and then it goes up to the desk. So you can actually have your cables sitting, all the cables sit in this channel, and then it comes down once for the plugs. If it's monitor cables and all this extra stuff, no problem. TV stands now all have this built into the neck, right? You can have, if you have a big screen TV and you use a TV stand, you can actually get TV stands that have a minimal floor space, and they go straight right up, and then it holds the TV. You can run them through. They actually have a hole through. You run all the cables into this hole, and they go down the neck, and it looks beautiful because you'll never see the cables. They come out at the bottom. There's a little hole at the bottom, so you can come out and put your Blu-ray player or whatever, or you can run them along to another channel. The one thing I will also say, though, and I mentioned this way early in the series, if you go way back, not set the time, well, actually, no, you set the time machine, Mr. Peabody. Yes, I just dated myself, and that's fine. If you go way back, and we talked about USB-C. Now, I love USB-C. Why? Because when you're talking about video, you can carry power, video, and data on the same cable. So increasingly, in future, I fully expect that you will have your Blu-ray player, whatever replaces Blu-ray later, right? Computer, game system, whatever it is, and that will have a USB-C cable that will come, and you can daisy chain USB-C. So you will have one cable from the TV down, one power cable, one video cable that will go down and chain up into your devices. We'll see. Even if there's one per, it's one cable for power and video. So, and these cables are not very thick. They are very thin. They are very, very sleek. They're very easy to acquire. So, and they are very standard, which means that if you need to replace it, you don't need to go and get a special thing, although HDMI has pretty much taken care of that. But yes, the trick, the biggest tricks for wires, again, just make sure you have that little bit of extra. Please, please, please don't make your cables too taut. Most of the damage from charging cables and audiovisual cables and any type of cable really is the point between, you know what, I'm gonna show you. This is for my microphone, but nonetheless, the point is good. This part here is meant to reinforce the cable so that it doesn't get damaged from the box. But where most cables get damaged, and this is really important, is here, right after the protective unit. Now, if we were to extend that protective unit halfway down the cable, you'd still have the same problem wherever it ends. And if you had to go all the way down the cable would cost about 3 times as much and would be very, very stiff and not very functional. So it's right after the protective strip there that you want to be watching out for where your cables get damaged. So that's why you want to have that little bit of looseness so the cables can move nicely without having that that pull, because just like a pipe cleaner or anything else, you bend it too much, it can crack or break. By the way, just one small point before I end off, keep your cables away from direct heat. If you're above a baseboard heater, please, please, please invest in one of these like 3/4 shelves, or like, you know, the quarter shelf, or a plastic channel or something to keep them away from heat. Heat damages the outside of the cable. You know how clothing gets rubber fever from getting hot and cold and dry, and, you know, hot and dry and hot and dry and cold and hot and cold? Cables, very much so. In fact, that's where a lot of damage to cables happens as well, is where the heat collects. So, just a fun little tip. Guys, thanks for tuning in. I love seeing so many of you on here. I can't wait to see you tomorrow at 6:45. And thank you for watching Not Technically Perfect and tuning in and chiming in with the comments and all of that. I'm going to pop my email up. So if you guys have any questions, you know, if you don't pop it in the comments, you can feel free to send me an email. I am fully accessible. I love hearing from you guys. And thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow at 6:45, where we will jump into a few more fun tips about making your technology useful for your lifestyle. Thanks so much. Catch you guys later.